yeah, we'll have this new set of math stuff to come out, and it should be helping embedded people in particular. So ruling public key. Public key operations, they're the slowest part of a TLS handshake. If you're going to be doing a TLS handshake with a full client authentication and all that stuff, then there's a lot of public key operations that are happening, and each one of those is very expensive, far outweighing any of the ciphers or the digests or any of the other cryptographic algorithms, randoms that you might be using. So the public key operations are talking about a key exchange. You need to do a key exchange at the very start to establish a secret. So that's either ECDH or Diffie-Hellman. Diffie-Hellman's not being used so much these days because it's far slower than the EC, but some cases the code size of DH is an advantage, so people will use that. Server authentication, well, you need to sign on the server side and verify on the client side. So we need to have RSA and ECDSA being performed on the client and the server. And also you have certificate chain validation. And typically that'll require a verification on the client side, especially of one or more certificates. So you'll have a chain that is perhaps the root, the client certificate or the server certificate, or maybe a root, a CA, and the client certificate. And you should be doing a certificate verification on each of those below the root. So that means if you have a CA, that means you have to do 2 verifications as well. So you need to have those as fast as possible because we're talking hundreds of thousands of cycles or millions of cycles depending upon your platform. Now, how about TLS 1.3? How does that particularly impact that? TLS 1.3 does key exchange with every handshake. That's part of what their design was. We're going to make this secure by default, make it hard for people to not do it securely. And that means you need to do a key exchange to establish a per session secret. You can, if you want to limit your security, say that we're going to reuse the key that's generated when you're saving the session, saving the session ticket. But as I said, it limits the security using the same ticket in every resumed handshake. So by and large, everyone will be doing a key exchange with every handshake. That's the slowest operation in a resumption handshake then. It takes a lot of cycles to do that, while everything else is just hashes and ciphers, and that's really quick. So ruling public key means we rule the connection speed, the handshake speed, that is to say. Performance trade-off. So, you know, fastest is great. Everybody wants the fastest code. Everyone wants the fastest handshakes, but not everyone has unlimited memory. So we're talking about embedded here, okay? You know, if you've got a desktop, if you're doing a browser or you're doing a server that's at the back end, then yeah, sure. You want the assembly optimized code that's going to go as fast as possible, that's going to produce how to handle the most connections in the per second as possible, so that you can handle as many incoming connections as possible. But when you're on the client, you may have limitations on there. So you can compile up the single precision code or maths library in general to be smaller, to have less code there so you can save on RAM. And you can compile it up to have less stack usage. So instead of declaring a whole lot of things on the stack, using maybe 2K for each one if you're using RSA, then you can have that being dynamically allocated instead, and less memory usage. So we can choose to have algorithms that don't pre-compute tables and things like that. So we can always find ways to meet the memory usage constraints that you have on your environment. And you may have these trade-offs that limit the performance, the speed of the cryptographic algorithm, but sometimes you don't care about timing attacks, which means that you can use faster algorithms, and we've got different algorithms that you can use as well. So it's all about making sure that the performance that these maths library produces suits what your environment. So WolfSSL Rules, the single precision implements the public key algorithms and compiled to meet your needs. And it will be fast. And I'll show you exactly how fast that is. And it's still secure. So we don't compromise on security just to make it fast. The code is all written to use the secure algorithms, the best algorithms that we can find to get the best performance and to be secure at the same time. So, okay, let's go dig into what single precision is. So single precision, or SP, is the public key implementations such that there's one implementation for each size. So that means we cover 2048, 3072, 4096-bit RSA Diffie-Hellman. So you can, and we also do the P256 and P384 with ECC. But that doesn't mean that you have to have all those built into your product if you compile in single precision. You can have just 2048 RSA, or you can have 2048 RSA and P256 EC Diffie-Hellman. Whatever combination you need, just P256 EC Diffie-Hellman with ECDSA, you can have that as well. Being able to choose the amount of codes that you need to compile into your environment is, I believe, important. We believe is important at WolfSSL. And by one implementation, I mean the 2048-bit implementation is its own implementation itself. There's no code shared with the 3072-bit implementation. The 4096, on the other hand, does share some code implementation with the 2048 because it's half. 2048 is half of 4096, and we can share code there because that's convenient. Other toolkits don't do this. Maybe they do this for the EC code because it's been a common thing that you can optimize for the particular parameters. And I have seen that OpenSSL has some assembler code or something like that that's doing 1024 and 2048-bit maths separately as well. But we've gone and put this in for many different algorithms, many different codes, different sizes. So when I was insecure, by that I mean that the algorithms and the implementation is constant time. So all of the operations with private keys, they're constant time. And I mean all the way. So constant time means the algorithms are implemented so that the private key data doesn't affect how long it takes to do the operation. And that's where some toolkits stop. They don't take into consideration that the actual multiplication operation, the squaring operation, or something like that may have data dependencies as well. We've taken care of that. Because we've got one implementation for each bit size, we can say that for the 2048 by 2048 bit multiplication, regardless of the number's value, we will be doing 2048 by 2048 bits. And comparisons, they don't shortcut. We do go through every bit, every byte, every word, and do some kind of comparison and get the result at the end so that we have a real, true constant time implementation. As of yet, we haven't had researchers complaining that there's vulnerabilities in these products that don't go to these extreme measures. But as the attacks get more and more sophisticated, hopefully not, but it may be that they'll find that these other implementations that use general maths, a general multiple precision implementation, they do have some kind of hidden timing dependencies there that can be exploited. So what kind of implementations are there in SP? We've got assembly optimized for x86-64. We've got ARM64, ARM32, Cortex-M4, Thumb. There's lots of ARM out there in terms of architectures. And we've made a, we've tried hard to target or to help those people by providing optimized implementations. The Intel x64, we've spent a lot of time optimizing that so that it's clear that it's as good as OpenSSL and better in some cases. AR64, once again, a lot of time into that, close to getting something in there that's going to show up OpenSSL. The others, yes, there's optimized code and it is fast, but yeah, we could see if there's opportunities in there to do something better. If you want to try this out and compare, feel free. We'd like to know what your experience is and how good you feel our code is. But apart from the assembly optimizations, we also have pure C implementations. This is important because we haven't got assembly optimizations for every chipset. And we found customers really appreciate having some pure C implementation that is fast, using the same kind of algorithms as the assembly optimization. So it's targeted at bit sizes, targeted at curves, curve parameters, all that kind of stuff. It can be big, it can be chunky and having large tables and stuff like that, or it can not be big and can be just having a smaller implementation. But there is a choice there that 64-bit and 32-bit versions of it that are fast, that are a lot faster than a standard general multi-precision implementation will ever be. As I said, we've had a number of customers that have been very happy with our C implementation and haven't asked us to optimize for the assembly even. But assembly optimizations are the key to the best performance. So if you need that, let us know, and we can look into that in future work. So how do you configure SP? There's lots of ways to dice this, to cut this up into different pieces so that you can get exactly what you need. So the simplest thing is just to enable SP, and that will give you all of the implementation, 2048, 3072, P2D6, everything that you need, everything that you could use, I should say. Or you can use enable SP and specify the bit sizes that you want, so that it only compiles in those particular implementations and you get smaller code. Or you can even compile in the small option. You can even go like small 2048 or small RSA 2048 or small P2T6. And that way you'll get just those algorithms, those bit sizes with the small code. But if you want assembly optimization, then you have to add the enable SP ASM. So this uses the optimized assembly for the platform if it's available. You don't have to specify which platform you are. The configuration program already knows what you are, so we can detect that and include the assembly optimizations that you need. And there's another little option in there that to help out with code size, you can enable SP math. So this is a cut down version of the generic maths, the multi-precision maths, that gives you just enough maths to be able to get by. Because all of the RSA operations, from the exponentiation down to the adds and the multiplications, that kind of stuff, are in SP, then you don't need too much out there in the multi-precision library. So we can cut down on that and give you a smaller implementation overall. You can also enable small stack. So that's a feature that cuts across all of the WolfSSL code base, and each of the functions where we would usually have large stack items, large items going onto the stack. Maybe we'll have temporary multi-position numbers or single position numbers. Then they will be dynamically allocated so that you don't have to worry about the heap growing too large. It's important for embedded customers, that particular option. But of course, there's always the issue of, having to handle dynamic memory allocation with an embedded system. Another option that applies to the standard implementation, applies to ECC explicitly and affects both the default implementation of the maths and the SP. SP implements the ECC itself within itself. So the FP ECC option has implementation of consequences or impacts within the SP code as well as in the standard ECC library code. What this does is it creates a cache of EC pre-computation tables. So now we're just like saying, I don't care about memory. I just want to use as much memory to make everything as fast as possible. And how does that help? Well, it gets faster verification times. So as I said back earlier, that chain verification, you need to be doing that. If you're using the same root certificate all the time, for ECC, that is to say, with ECC, then you probably will want to be doing the verification of the CA a lot. So you can cache the pre-computation table for the public key in the certificate. And this significantly improves the performance of the verification. We're talking, two and a bit times faster. So how about a performance comparison to see why I'm claiming that we need to be really using this WolfSSL SP code. So WolfSSL Rules OpenSSL. We've got fast assembly for Intel and ARM, and better C code for all platforms. I'll go into the comparison of the actual SPC, the SP's C code in the coming soon section, but yeah, you'll see. It's a lot better. So yeah, RSA is as fast as OpenSSL. And the ECC, it's faster than OpenSSL. So let's look at the actual numbers here, or the percentages anyway. We've got here the standard operations that you'll want to do, RSA 2048, sign and verify. And using P2G6 for ECC, you've got a key agree. OpenSSL doesn't give you numbers for the key generation, so I haven't been able to do that comparison. For the P2G6 sign and verify for ECDSA. And you can see there that the orange bar, that's the WolfSSL SP Intel x86 64-bit ASM assembly. And while it's not dramatically better, it is better for the sign and the verify. Maybe up to 8% than OpenSSL 1.1.1. Yeah, it is better. You can't do much for RSA. It's a pretty tight loop of just doing exactly the same thing for lots and lots of bits. For the P2G6 ECC code, yeah, the key agree, it's about the same speed. For the sign and the verify though, yeah, we beat them. If it's 10% or more, if it's more than 10%, then I think that means that we believe that means that we're better than them. 10% means that it's a noticeable improvement in the speed. And how do we achieve that? Well, it's better algorithms, basically. Better algorithms and slightly better assembler code, just tighten that little assembler code just that little bit better to get that little bit extra performance out of it. So you can see that, if you're working on Intel x86-64, you've got no excuse when it comes to performance for not using WolfSSL. We're just better where you're going to need us. We've also optimized for the AH64, and it's pending. It's not quite finished yet, and we are actively working on improving performance, especially if you're a customer that has some needs. We will look into your needs and try to help you out. So the RSA and the ECC, it's as fast as OpenSSL. So, RSA, yep, the sign is about 8% faster. The verify, same speed. The key agree, yeah, we're about 2% off. It's not a lot. 2% is not a lot in the scheme of things. The sign, yeah, about the same. I'm not sure what happened with that OpenSSL there. That's the latest master of OpenSSL. It may have been something to do with the compilation. I don't know, but maybe they've had a vulnerability that they needed to fix and they've tried to cut back on performance. I can't see any need to rework our ECC. We've got a constant time implementation that's fast. And the verification, yeah, it's a little bit faster. So yeah, this is the kind of thing that, if you have OpenSSL comparison, then you need to have an equivalent performance in WolfSSL. We can do this. We've proved it for Intel x86-64, and we've proven it for AH64. So don't worry, we've got you. Okay, so what's coming soon? What am I talking about here? It's single precision, but not quite single precision. That makes sense. So a general multi-precision math implementation that's faster, based upon my experience or our experience working with introducing the SP code and the algorithms that we used. It has optimization for lots of platforms, and by that I mean it's just little pieces of very small pieces of assembly optimization code that can be used to speed up the algorithms for doing the most basic multiplications and squarings and things like that. And this little bit of assembly optimizations, yeah, we've done it for a few platforms. Your Intels, a couple of ARMs, the PowerPC, your MIPS, your RISC, S390X. I hear that S390X is important to some people. If that's something that people need optimized, then let us know. I'm curious about that. I think RISC-V, the RISC-V, it's becoming, I'm seeing cases come up about that. There's one recently about someone wanting the WolfSSL boot product. So they have an embedded system and they want to have a secure boot so that they can download their image, have it verified and put into boot position. So if you need a faster RISC-V platform, then yep, we can look at doing assembly optimizations for that in SP. PowerPC's come up a bit too, and they've been using the C implementation from SP. So this is the current C implementation using the fast math and the huge math. And I'm comparing it to OpenSSL compiled without assembler code, okay? So the OpenSSL C code, it has its own kind of different kind of performance profile because it's the C code. it does have some, I think, optimized C code for different sizes, or maybe something like that. I'm not sure, but I haven't really looked into it. But as you can see, the WolfSSL Huge Math, and that's just our standard math library without this new stuff that's coming along. It's a bit faster than the sign already. The verify, yeah, we're looking into that. That was just because we've used a secure version of the exponentiation, and we'll look into that and get the performance back up. But yeah, it can be improved. The key agree, yeah, it's okay. The sign's okay, and the verify is faster. Now let's take a look at the new small implementation. So this is the code size small version that's coming out with this new maths implementation. And you can see that it's faster than the normal standard maths. Yeah, the small code version is faster than the existing one. And it can be quite a bit faster if you look at the sign, the verify for P226. And the small code size version is comparable in a lot of the operations with OpenSSL C code version, which is quite chunky. I don't actually know the size because it's hard to judge. There's lots of different files in there that you get included. So if I just did all the big number library maths stuff, then it was like 135K for Intel x64. I don't know if I included everything even in that. And we're faster. So what happens if we look at the fast version? So let's not limit ourselves with the code size. Let's try to speed up the operations. Better again. Look at that. Look at that red bar. Look at that P226 verify. We're almost 2 times faster. Key agree, key and sign, almost 150% faster. The RSA 2048-bit sign, 150% faster, yeah, 1.5 times faster. And we're not even trying to do the RSA really fast yet. So there's a WolfSSL huge that we can do as well. Sorry about that. That was my alarm to get up in the morning. It's quite early over here in Australia, where I'm doing this from. And I had to get up at 5 o'clock this morning, and now it's 6:30, so sorry about that. Look at the huge implementation. Sign is now even faster than the RSA 2048 bits, faster than the normal WolfSSL huge, yeah, library. The verify, it's now faster than the OpenSSL C code. Key agree, sign, verify, they're all a lot faster now. So this is just multi-precision C code faster than OpenSSL C code. What about OpenSSL, we're looking at this new SP C code. How does that compare? Yeah, it's a lot faster. It's so much faster. It's ridiculous. The sign is, you know, I would say it's like 280% up there. So it's 2.8 times faster. The key agree, P226 key agree, it's, you know, almost 3.5 times faster. That P226 sign, yeah, that's going off the edge of the graph. I didn't want to actually have that number in there because it just shrunk the graph so much that it made all the other bars just too small to see. So that's actually out at 11 times faster. That's because, like, we're throwing everything, you know, all our code size, all our memory that we can possibly throw in at this to make it as fast as possible. It's not going to be the same speed as the assembler code because, you know, we can you know, get that little bit more out of everything doing assembler code, but it's a lot faster. The verification code for P226, faster again. So yeah, if you can afford it on your embedded platform, use the single precision C code because it is that much better. We've had a lot of customers that have been very happy with the performance from this. And yeah, there is obviously the option of having small code size, and that affects the speed of things. You know, we can tune this to not be so fast and not have everything thrown at it. You know, have all the memory and all the code size being used that you could possibly use. It's up to you to choose what you need, and we can work with you on the code size, work on the performance size for that. So ruling public key, it's about fast assembly for Intel and ARM at the moment, and whatever you need. The fast C implementation, this will work on any platform. This is just straight C code, except for maybe one div word thing that's for the Intel chips. And it's got the best algorithms to be able to extract the most out of your platform. Small C, WolfSSL, we pride ourselves on being supporting embedded customers. We want to be out there so that we do everything we can to make it that you can fit your crypto, your TLS implementation onto your platform. And small RAM usage, because really if you're an embedded system, then you need to worry about that too. Okay, so that's all I've got in the slides. Are there any questions?
We have one question from Gopi Krishnan. His question is, I would like to use WolfSSL for software signing process and perform verified boot. Our memory limit is around 32K. Is it possible to use WolfSSL?
Of course, my answer is going to be yes. We have ways of limiting the algorithms that you include within a build of WolfSSL, and therefore what goes into our WolfSSL boot offering. So you can have just RSA verify or ECC verify if that's what you need to use for direct memory usage. The RSA can use a bit of memory, so to do its operations, there's some temporaries there that do push out that, but you can use algorithms that are smaller, you know, that are more, the less hungry on that way, but an ECC can be faster, can be better than that for that though. So yeah, we can do that. I can't give you exact numbers because, you know, the platform dependencies and being able to build that, it's, you know.
Any other questions? If you have other questions, you can just raise your hand and ask the questions live. Oh, okay, we do have two other questions. Another question is, what real-time operating systems are supported, or is there any limitation?
We support many real-time operating systems. I don't have the list in front of me. We've partnered with many different real-time operating system groups to support, you know, to help them. FreeRTOS, I don't know. I don't work with customers as much as the other people in the organization do, so they'd be able to answer that question a lot better than I can. As far as I know, there is no limitations on that kind of thing. You know, the OS is the OS. We're the mass library. We're the TLS implementation. We can plug into that. We can help you get the routines working so that you can make the reads and writes go to your operating system if that's what you need. Next question.
And then how does embed TLS compare to WolfSSL in terms of speed?
So I'm not sure how to answer that question really, because what I've seen of embed TLS is not good. And that could just be because I'm not looking at the right things. They're more focused on embedded systems, so they have very limited, very small code sized implementations and small algorithms, algorithms that are not particularly fast. So we can do those kind of algorithms. We can have the smaller implementations for different cryptographic algorithms. That's fine. And I would have to do a comparison of those directly, as opposed to saying, yes, we're faster because we've got these C implementations that are faster. But I haven't done a comparison. So I can't say that we are faster, but I can see that we have equivalent operations, equivalent algorithms that are going to be faster, in my opinion. I did try to run some numbers, and what I saw was so bad that I just didn't even bother trying to put it into the graphs. It's just, yeah.
Okay, any other questions? If not, I would like to thank everyone for attending our webinar. As always, we would love it if you could follow us on Twitter or any of our other social medias, really, at WolfSSL. And if you have any other questions, you can also email us at facts@wolfssl.com, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you have. Thank you so much for joining. I hope everyone is staying safe and well isolated. Thank you so much.
Stay healthy.
Stay healthy.